I'm curious what your daily consumption of creativity looks like.
Hmm. Well, I'm cross-disciplined in a lot of ways with creativity. Like I have um, experience with visual arts, music, obviously, and writing and books. So it's constant, I'd say, in a lot of ways. Um, and I think like different things, different parts, different kinds of art feel different for where I'm at in my life at any given moment. Um, Art is very environmental, I think. Um, so that's how I use it. I use it to create my environment. Um, obviously spend a lot of time listening to music. I spend a good amount of time um, reading, just because that's, I think, especially towards the end of my day, reading is something that's sort of like, it feels more like a winding down of the nervous system. It tends to like, and that's
Hmm.
probably because I have been doing it for so long. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like a comfort thing, like reading is a comforting thing to do like towards the end of the day, usually. I also find like what I've been experimenting with lately is sort of like um, consuming art that isn't TV um, towards the end of the day, and how that kind of seems to affect my dreams and um,
Mm.
and even how I wake up the next morning. Um, because I think like when I listen to music before bed or even while I'm sleeping, I think that that's something that's it's interesting for dreams, and I tend to wake up in a better mood. I will wake up um, feeling a little like more creative, like I'm on the right frequency already. So,
Interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
you and I discussed dreams
Hmm.
before. Yeah, and I brought up my friend who I moved to Denver and how I've had at least like five dreams that he's been in. He's like come into my dreams, and it's like, what does that mean? I probably had like five separate dreams last night, just like waking, sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up, and I can't remember. My nephews were in one actually. Um, do you write down your dreams?
Sometimes me and my girlfriend will um we both dream quite often, and we'll tell each other about a dream that's particularly like if it's particularly hard to process or if it's good or weird. So like that's part of how I think that's what's nice is that like she'll be like, I had this really weird dream last night, and she'll tell me about it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I feel like that's sort of like the record of it, because then I'll be like, well, I wonder if this means this. And then she'll do the same in reverse. Um, so like that's sort of how we keep record of it, but I think it would be interesting to write down all of them and then really be able to like have like a reference of like, okay, I
Like a
felt like this,
catalog.
yeah, like I felt like this in my life at one point, and it would be interesting to see like when I felt like that before and what I was dreaming about, you know. So it's a really interesting way to capture information, you know. So
But when you write about a dream, do you just make like a almost like a subject line of an email, like this happened, or do you write a paragraph about it, or like
I think it's usually for me like as much as I can remember detail wise, and then how it made me feel. Like the emotions I think are important.
mm, yeah.
Um, Whether that's like fear or um, happy, which isn't as often, but um, or like strangeness, isolation, anxiety, or nostalgia. So I think that's
Mm.
like because then it ties like the event, like what was happening to a specific emotion.